What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another cross reactions video. In today's video I'm going to be with Daniel from nerdItout doing an honest review on Last of Us Part 2. Say hello, Daniel.
Hello guys, let's get to it.
You're gonna fucking die!
Hi guys, so in this video we are doing about Last of Us Part 2. So we're going to talk about the game as a whole, we're going to talk about just how good the game is, if we liked it or didn't like it, talking about it's almost been a year since it's come out, so is it still worth playing if you hadn't already picked it up, or has it still got that replayable value to it, and kind of like the legacy that this game has kind of left the gaming industry as a whole. Is that okay? Yeah, that's like the 20th.
I think you've done well on all
that's
the
like the 20. That's like the 20th
all
take.
the bloopers
So
I've just added in now.
I'm quite happy with that. So okay, so this game takes place 4 years after Last of Us came out. No, after the first game. It's 4 years later. So this is a more experienced Ellie now.
She looks.
Joel's. What do you mean? Joel's great. Joel is Joel. Don't you give me that face here.
Yeah, what part? Joel was good though, wasn't he?
Are we going to give spoilers in this?
We'll just put spoiler warning.
Alright, so if you hadn't already...
Well, we couldn't, we'll just phrase it a little bit, if you want.
No, we'll just do spoilers.
Just tell
Alright, so if you hadn't already played the game, guys, I think it is worth playing, but you might have mixed opinions about it. So, 4 years later, as you know, and these characters are more... We'll actually look at the game. The characters are more in this new world, and the game itself is beautiful. The grass, you fill them up with cocktails at people, the shooting, the mechanics.
When someone shoots you and you go backwards and fall in the grass as well.
Not all weapons. If it's like a sniper or a shotgun, if you get hit by an owl, you have to pull it out.
Amazing. Because
you keep losing damage. You can still fight with it, but you're losing damage. And when you making stuff, when it's raining, Ellie puts a hood up. You know, little things like that, and the game is absolutely fantastic like that. The loot, I always love in Last of Us 1, if you're in the sewer bit and you find like these notes, you find all the notes to tell like a little story of how the sewers collapsed. And the last note is when you're in that little village, and you find that last one, and this guy's with the girl and 3 of the kids that survived, and he's like, I don't know what we're going to do now and stuff. And this you get like a similar like little stories, and each mission, some of the pieces of paper actually do go together. I love it in safes. They give you like little clues. Like one of them, it's like employee of the month and my birthday or something. And
I saw that it was a dog as well.
And you have to look around and for the safe, and you're like, okay, that's it's kind of like a bit more like God of War, the new one, in the sense that it's a bit more open, you can explore. It's still linear, but it gives you more exploration.
Yeah, there's only so much that you can explore, but when you're exploring in this game, the detail itself is
like when Ellie,
Ellie
and her girlfriend want to go in the synagogue.
Dina.
And she's talking about Dina. Well, it's still her girlfriend, and she's talking about, because she's Jewish, but she's not practicing one, but she's talking about it all. And I found that fascinating. Now you could completely miss it, but it's just fascinating when you go in and stuff, like when you find stuff like that. It's just great.
Yeah, like you said about the letters and stuff, it tells you about things that people have died.
About the world.
Yeah, it's like games are not doing that these days. In a lot of storytelling games, they're missing that aspect a little bit. Not a lot of them. A lot of them still doing, like I said, God of War, all like the A titles that we all enjoy. But yeah, you can tell a bit about the story if you want. Like what happens to it, what makes everyone go.
We're not going to go too much into it, because if you already watched it, this is kind of just our thoughts, as it were. I don't know, this video is a bit of everything. It's just all about Last of Us, really. We're kind of on two edges of the spectre, where we both agree this is one of the best gameplay experiences ever. In the fact that, as a game, if you just take it as a game, it is one of the best games out there. Now, I know you Skyrim lovers or you other people out there saying, no, this game had better mechanic, or this, whatever. This is just our opinion. But for us, it is one of the best. And I love Witcher 3, and I think Witcher 3 is great. But you take graphics, the gameplay, voice actors.
There's a lot of effort being put into this game.
Oh
a lot of hard work
yeah. It's got delayed to hell because obviously they was working on Uncharted, so they took developers out of that to finish Uncharted. But if you just take it as a game alone, it's great, and we both agree 100%. What me and Elliot disagrees on is
a little bit. You disagree.
But I think I disagree more than you. Just because I've played the game like 15, 17 times.
I feel why people are upset.
Yeah.
I do, but I still like the game, even though that thing did happen.
Because I never played the original Last of Us when it came out on PS3. I only played the remaster one. And I just fell in love with the game. You liked the game, not as much as me, and I played it maybe... I remember the first year I got it, I played it 3-4 times.
I liked the game, but
yeah.
graphics...
Oh yeah, but
graphics now, this is why I like Last of Us Part 2. Like I can play it because of the graphics and the game mechanics. Mechanics in this game, you do not get them in a lot of games made these days. And now that they are making this remake, I know it's off topic, it would look cool, this remake, having this
I'm looking forward to
gameplay and stuff, but it's kind of annoying that they're making a remake of that game because it's been out so many times now. It was on PS3, then PS4.
PC
now you want to remake it for some reason. It's a bit stupid, but I understand why, because the graphics and the gameplay of this game is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I get why you want to do it, but maybe you should have focused on something different, maybe.
No,
I understand why they're
I'll take it.
If it don't take them long to remake that game, then yeah, go for it, but
I can imagine too
just
much
don't
work.
try and throw so much resources out and cock yourselves up if not many people want to do that and buy it, because a lot of people are moaning like 5-year-olds about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, go with the story now.
Yeah, go on.
Go straight with
but
it.
where we differ is the story, to be honest.
Hey, wait, do I have a golf club anyway?
Shut your mouth. Okay.
Well, on screen you're going to see a golf club, go.
Okay, yeah, well, you're going to edit that then.
Well, actually, you're going to see a bit of gameplay on the screen of what's going on.
I think what we disagree, because they got different writers, and I remember you telling me back in, I think, 2016, 2017.
They got a new writer.
And they got new writers. I thought, oh, it don't matter. But, oh my god, it just... For me, Last of Us, they could do it, but the way Last of Us ends, it's kind of, it's done now. You could do prequels, you could do spin-offs. I don't see them continuing, I don't see how they can continue the story. And let's just get off the bat, they killed Joel off. Now, I think Joel was, I think if they was going to do a trilogy or 4 games or even 5 games, he was not going to survive.
Why did they kill Joel?
Well, apparently, and they changed this, in the first Last of Us, when you go in the doctor's room, there's not an option whether you can let all the doctors live. There's always that one main doctor that has to die. Now it gives you the options whether you kill the other ones or not. And anyway, so the doctor that died, her daughter was pissed, found out that it was Joel, even though I don't know how you would able to find that out, even though it's a big apocalypse.
Maybe all the people, do you know what
America's massive, yeah, well, but anyway, she finds out it's Joel, this guy called Joel, so she gets tons of people from Seattle, they go down to Jacksonville, they find Joel, they kill Joel horribly, torture him and all sorts.
What you would do if someone did do that to your father.
And Abby didn't kill Ellie or Tommy, they left, and obviously Tommy was pissed, so he goes off, and then Ellie goes off after him with is it Dina, her girl?
Well, she tries, so Ellie goes with Dina to try and find Tommy.
Yeah. And
they try and pursue where Abby is. She pretty much finds the other people that was doing it.
But they're always like 2 minutes behind Tommy, where
Correct,
you see the aftermath of what Tommy did, and I would love if they did DLC of Tommy going in there. But anyway, and they basically go on and stuff.
You do see some really cool encounters with the infected. Oh, yes. You're fighting them. You're fighting those scars. Is it scars?
Yeah,
and the WLF. Is it WLF? I can't remember.
It's the 2 factions, so it's not really... Fireflies are in this, but...
How those guys interact with each other, the NPCs, is amazing. Like, when you kill someone, the NPC reacts saying the guy's name. Like, if he's called Jack, they're like, oh, Jack's dead. Even the dogs in it, it's upsetting to kill the dogs because the dogs go, arr!
Yeah.
When you shoot them. But I tried not to shoot one before because I shot his owner, then the dog went up to the owner and started like doing what a dog does, wimps and stuff. But then I had to shoot the dog because the dog tried to kill me, so you know, protect yourself. Got to protect yourself out
People
there.
kicked off about that as well.
I actually got a lot of bodies powder. I took a picture and sent it to Daniel, but you know.
But yeah, it's just how the story goes. So, and
it changes. So 1 minute you with Ellie for probably about, what was it, 3 to 4 hours or something?
No, it's so basically.
It changes with Abby and Ellie.
You play for Joe. You play with Joe for like what, a few minutes. Then it's Ellie. Then it's Abby. Then it's Ellie, Abby, and then you play for like Ellie for like 10 hours of the game, and then it's like Abby for another 10 hours. Now the problem is, this was a story about Joel and Ellie. You kill Joel off. You fucking do it at the end, or you do it in the third game. You know, you don't kill them off at the beginning. You don't get people waiting 6 years for this game. 7 years. 7 years for this game, and you kill off the guy that the main guy you play as in the first game. You do, and you get people to wait 7 years, and you kill them off in under 2 hours, and you play him as in for like 5 minutes. That's an insult.
Do you think it's because they wanted you to play as Ellie instead?
See, I don't mind playing as Ellie.
Do you think that's what it was? They wanted you to play as Ellie instead, so they did a move like that?
One of my favourite missions, and they fucked up on this, in that mission where Ellie gets captured in the first one, or when Joe gets injured and she has to help Joel out with medicine and food and stuff. And then obviously Joe gets better, then Joe has to go after Ellie, but then it goes back and forth between Ellie and Joe. They could have did that in this game, but they didn't. And I have no issue playing as Ellie. That's fine. If Ellie's going to be the main protagonist, but Joe is in the game still, I could have got over that.
So you would have liked it if Joel just got captured by him and then she was slowly just torturing him?
Or something like that. Or if Joe was in the game, but Ellie was the main person you play as, and Joe was like Ellie in the previous one. They could have did anything like that, but you get rid of him like that. Okay, I could deal with it. I mean, I complained about it like hell. I rung in and I thought this is fucking bullshit, but I can get over it. The thing I can't get over is when you play as Ellie for like 12 hours of the game, they take Ellie out, and you play as Abby. Now you play as Abby when Ellie was in Seattle. You play as Abby what she was doing, but then that's like 10 hours long, and I'm like, I'm playing as someone that killed my favorite character in the world that I've been waiting for 7 years in a gruesome death, and they try and make you sympathise with her, and you do to a
little bit because of the father death and
but you don't really care
killed
but you don't really care, do you?
It's emotional.
No one cares about that guy. You understand, but you give a damn about Joel. You don't care about that other person. If you just look at it as characters in a fiction, you don't care. I don't care about that doctor guy. I don't care about Abby. I care about Joel and Ellie and Tommy and his girlfriend. Oh, sorry, his wife. I give a Dina. You know, she's new, but I give a crap about her more than fucking Abby. But then he plays Abby for 10 hours, and Abby kind of steals the show a little bit.
Yeah, when you punch with her arms.
Well, she has some of the best bits in the game. Would you say? Because there's a bit when she's in the woods, and with that
wood scene was amazing.
with that girl that broken her arm, and that other girl that was helping her. So you know, they're in the woods.
I can't remember
they only got
her
fire.
Name. I can't remember her name. And the little kid as well.
And then they're attacking you.
The little scar.
And then you got the second another good bit when she's going down the hotel, and you have to kill them, and you have to keep going down each level of the hotel.
Yeah, that's that part. There's the part when you're on that crane as well, innit, where you're balancing and she's real scared of heights.
The next best bit when you do go in the building, at this hospital bit, but Abby actually goes in the basement, and that big creature. So that's 3 bit. And then the fourth bit, I would say, is when they attack that big the Scars hideout, and the Seattle people are burning the village down, they're killing all the people. So Abby has had some of the 4 best bits in the game, and that's Abby. And then when Abby finds out where Ellie's hiding, you have to try and kill Ellie. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? No,
emotions, innit? No, they're just trying to mess with your emotions.
No, but it's once again, I personally try and protect throughout the whole first game. Personally, play as for 10, 12 hours in this game, and now all of a sudden I'm supposed to kill the person I've been playing as, and that I love, one of my favourite characters in game and franchise. You want me to kill her?
I think it's just a human emotion. Like humans these days, we do stupid things, we do manipulate each other, we do the wrong things, and we forgive people. So say if you like you said about the prisoners, have killed like one person, I think they should get the death penalty for it. But then you said, maybe if they killed another person or another person.
So what are you trying to say?
So what I'm trying to say is maybe when she's gone all that way, killing all them innocent other people that helped Abby, and in the end she didn't kill Abby, because maybe she just forgived after letting out all her anger. What she did to Joel, then because she's lost loads as well, Abby, she let her off.
You're getting off a different point here, but...
Well, no, because when you said about the prisoners, he's killed all them people, he's getting jail time for it. She's killed all Abby's friends, murdered every single one of them. That's pretty much showed Abby what...
So you're trying to say that Okay, that's... Save that point. Save it.
Good point, though.
Yeah, good point. Save it. But you get what I'm coming at.
I get where you're coming at,
The writers think they're so... The writer thinks it's so clever in doing that, but as a player, and especially for me, it's stupid. I
think it's just emotion trying to get you upset and happy again. Upset. Because there's some good cut scenes at the little
I can't...
dinosaur place with Elliot and Joel. That was amazing. That scene.
Well, we're going to talk about those bits in a sec, but it's stupid though. I find it stupid. And then the game goes on, and I don't know if it drags. See, sometimes if you enjoy something, you don't mind. Like for me, Zack Snyder's Justice League. You think 4 hours is long? I enjoyed it. It didn't feel long. So maybe if I was enjoying the game a bit more, it wouldn't feel. But the game's like 22 hours roughly. You completed in about 21 hours. So we completed around similar times. And so you are getting value for money.
Tried doing it on Grounded Plus, I died in an hour.
But if you 50 odd quid we paid for the game, that is value right there. The game is 100%. It's worth its money.
It's worth its money. If you like, it is bad what happened to Joe, but when you get the aspects of what happened, you might have your mixed opinions.
I get it. And if there was going to do let's say this would have been a perfect trilogy. Now, if you killed him like near the beginning-ish of this third one, then okay.
Could always make a third one where they go back to just Joel and Tommy.
Well, they did we go on about that.
They might do that to get sympathy.
You're getting good ideas.
They might do that for a bit of sympathy towards the people that were upset.
Or maybe kill him near the end of the third, or maybe halfway in the third.
I think it wasn't bad that they killed him in a way, but I thought it was kind of cool. It just showed how much people can be psycho and smack people to death with a golf stick or golf club, whichever one it was.
I can deal with that. It's just I think
it made you upset.
It's always like it's not like Game of Thrones where you have so many characters, you expect them to die. When you watch every episode, you think, "Oh, they're going to kill the main character off." You kind of expect that, but with this world, you need both of them. You need the interactions. They feed off each other. The actors are great with each other, and I feel like that was missed. Now, Elliot did mention about they did flashback scenes.
I liked those flashbacks.
And those flashback scenes were very well done, well choreographed. So
that's what should have made you all. I think that's why they showed that Joel wasn't, because a lot of people keep saying, "Oh, they're throwing Joel away in the dumps. They don't give a shit." But then they showed cutscenes.
They do to an extent. But
yeah, because they show Abby, don't they?
I don't have an issue with Abby. Like when people giving that actress death threats. How pathetic are you, really? I mean, I didn't like maybe the character, and I didn't like how she was written. Nothing against the person. If I was offered Last of Us for a job like that, I'd do it. Wouldn't be happy about it, but if you're getting paid to be in a massive game like Last of Us,
studio like that, yeah.
Yeah, then fuck yeah, of course you do it. 100% you do it, but it's, for me, the writer really just went, fuck it. Naughty Dog, I think, went, fuck it, let's do more Uncharted stuff. Sony's doing Uncharted films. I mean, yeah, HBO's doing a series, but let's go all in with Uncharted, let's do more Uncharted stuff. Let's end Last of Us, get that out of the way. Let's focus on Uncharted. Ooh, we've got a new IP, guys. But let's focus on Uncharted and throw away Last of Us. There was opportunity for multiple story, and I think the writers were just lazy. And yeah, if you look at the game and think, oh, it's a masterpiece, and it's really, it's good, but I think they did lazy writing. They did shortcuts, and I think this big story. And I think they shortened it down, to be honest. Because I think they could have, I wouldn't say drag it out, but I think there was room for another game. This could have been the perfect third game if there were tweaks to this.
It's just if companies want to keep doing it. You know what the economy's
But-
doing
but
right now. They all want to
the
keep
same-
doing these multiplayer things and put money in it.
But the same IPs are so expensive.
Buy this, buy this, buy this. We're not getting games like this anymore. We're just a lot.
Yeah,
We're just getting
his
money games,
idea
aren't we?
is getting money back. Do the online with skins and that. You get your money back from that.
Yeah, just do a few little bundles, cheap bundles, not flipping ridiculous
Yeah.
EA price.
Or buy all these caps for like 79p or something. You know,
I think if they do a multiplayer, if they are, because whatever
Oh,
Neil
yeah.
Neil or whatever his
I-
name is, he did say they are doing the multiplayer. If they're doing it so you can customise your own character, maybe, because you don't want to do it so you can pick any character in the
Yeah.
game. Because if someone could play as Joe and then someone plays Abby with a ghost, he's gonna smacks it. Oh, do you know?
it's just for me. I find it just lazy. Right? I think it's studio interference, and I think it's.
Maybe that guy who directed had a different opinion to everybody. Maybe he just wanted to do an emotional driven.
And
Make you start crying.
I think they could have done that. I just think there was more opportunities to
We could have
explore
probably
the
given
world.
Joe more of a story. Saying
They
it was
could've-
the first game with Joe
They could
Lynn.
have went to the
Maybe
desert.
the second game they could have put a bit
They
more.
could have
Joe
got. They
Lynn.
could have gone Nevada. They could have went to New York even. Imagine going to New York. All the infected in that. They could have gone to Chicago. They could have done so much with the world, and I think they just cheapened themselves to try and rush, try
Focus
and
on other
finish it
things.
off.
So they're making a multiplayer RP or something, aren't they?
And I just think that they just cut out, and it was a wasted opportunity. They could have done a lot more with Last of Us. And like, okay, so one bit controversy for me, and it annoys me to hell. In the end of the first Last of Us game, and when Ellie asked Joel, "Is it true? What you said is true?" Blah blah blah.
Wait, I've got the line. Don't fucking touch me. I can say it because the game is R-rated,
Look,
18.
Stop joining them. That's the second one.
There you go.
No, I'm all about the end bit.
Okay, yeah, go on.
And this is a perfect
I
bit.
thought you was on it, but when Joel and Ellie are talking, the second
well, we
one.
can talk about that. We can actually edit that in and get the actual clip for it, to be honest. For the end of the first one. And she said, "Is it true?" And he hesitated. And when you know when someone hesitates like that,
You know that.
and he said, "Yes." Now her face, she knew he lied. I'm going to 100% say it, because obviously it's a different writer. That writer knew. You have to find out the name before we put it in the description. But he knew.
Neil.
And we kind of own him, fuck that guy. We all knew that he lied. But she chose to accept it because he must have had a reason. And she loves him as a father, so she chose to accept it. Now she knew he was lying. I'm going to 100% say that.
And he did lose
And
his
you
daughter.
you watch that end bit again.
Oh, I did.
She knew he was lying, but she chose to accept it. Now the writer for the second one totally retconned that. Fucking thrown it away. And she was like, yeah, she believed him 100%. And then they brought in that extra drama between them when they were arguing for years and stuff, and it was unneeded. Now there was the scene when she went to Joe's house and they kind of mended things, didn't they? That was near the end of the game. That was a nice scene. That was well done, well choreographed. Everything was brilliant about it. But you didn't need to get to that. They could have argued about anything else. Joe getting a girlfriend. And you know, they could have did honestly, or maybe he didn't like Dina because you know she's a bit of a troublemaker, and Joe thinks like, look, you could date whichever girl you want, just don't date it. They could have did anything else, but I think it was just lazy writing. They wanted a bit of unnecessary drama, and they wanted
Yeah, but it's like
just
that
to round
having a
everything up.
teenage kid doing it. They want to do their own things, and
Yeah,
you're
no,
the father.
no,
You want
that's
to make
fine.
sure they're safe.
But I just think they added extra controversy for no reason. She knew that he lied.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
She did. I'm going to say that, and people can argue about that. She knew that he lied, but they just chose to.
But she was a kid though, wasn't she? She don't know.
No, she did. She's 14. She's not daft in this world. She looked at him and she went, "Okay."
Maybe she just thought, you know what, fuck it, let's go for it.
Yeah.
And when you get older, you listen to things, you see things more clearly.
No, but then she was upset all of a sudden. Like, I should have died. I could have saved the world.
Don't you fucking touch me!
Maybe that back scene.
The writer wanted argument. They wanted controversy with those two. Well, I'm sorry if those two fit well together.
But we're done.
You had your controversy when Joe didn't like her. To him, it's just another job, a bloody annoying job. But then, after a couple of missions, kind of halfway through Pittsburgh, when the bit when she killed a guy and Joe told her to wait somewhere else. That was your controversy, but that was all done. Then they started to merge, and then let's bring in some more controversy and arguments in this game with each other. They didn't need that. It was where you can push past that and go, you know what, I can deal with that stuff. For me, I just feel like the Last of Us game I wanted, I got half of it, and the other half was lost in fucking Sony and other people thinking about 100 other projects they can do, and we need to finish off Last of Us, and that's it. Now I'm praying for the HBO Max series. I am praying that follows the first game and retcons the second one and goes off and does its own thing. Well, we complained before that it never follows the game, it never follows the book. I hope it don't follow the game. I really do hope it goes off a different road and we get more of the Last of Us world and they add new things to it. And yeah, would I want like Texans playing Tommy and Joe? Yeah, I would like native Texans to do it. But with Pedro Pascal, he's a great actor, and I thought, you know what, I can move past that. If he knocks the role out, give him a Texan accent anyway.
Just see what happens.
So Pedro, you're doing a Texan accent, then I think I can follow it. But I don't know. I mean, I've been talking a lot. Do you kind of get where I'm trying to come from? A little bit.
I get where you're all coming from.
Where it's the game kind of suffered because of outside influences of wanting to do Uncharted games, so Sony can put their games out with Tom Holland's film and.
It's just there are companies are like that a lot. Like if it's going off topic, but like with Jurassic World Evolution, they pushed that game out real fast
for the second film. And
that studio, Frontier, are amazing at making park games, but they're cocks up on Jurassic World Evolution. That game. I wasted £50 on that game. It was so bad. There was nothing in it, no scenery or anything. They pushed that game, rushed it so quick, just to release it on the same time as when the film got released. And the problem is, they kept doing free updates, but then they started charging you £15 each for a DLC with a little bit of content.
Well, at least this game.
Well, this game right here, the only reason why I like this game so much because there's not many games that are being released that are kind of decent and good gameplay.
And you kind of.
I understand why everyone's upset.
And I said to you, I'm so jealous of you, and you went, yeah, you giggled at me. Why? And I said, you like this game so much. I wish I could be like you. I wish I can.
It is a shame because
I really do. And
it's a shame that no one can. A lot of people don't like it because the game is good. The mechanics, everything,
I think
the cinematics, the facial expression with the characters.
I think when people give it a 2 or 3 out of 10,
they're twats. They are twats. They're cunts. I'm going to say the cunt
word.
Well,
at least with me and you.
Because they could just say gameplay is amazing, but they don't. People, these stupid little reviewers, and I'm fucking sick of them. They do it on a lot of games. They give the game a 0 just because Joel's dead. 0.
Oh, that pissed me off. But
Joel's dead 0. The game's totally trash. Even if the developers have worked so hard, the voice actors, the actresses, everything, they put all that nice little mechanics.
Oh yeah, and I felt like that a little bit, but I completed the game.
But he hates that they killed Joel and stuff and went with a bad way, but he still likes the gameplay.
Like I said to you, apart from the story, everything else is great. Oh, slightly off topic. 2 things that did annoy me. Was they didn't give you like stats. So like in the first game, you get stats of how many people you killed with a brick.
You might get it now. I'm not 100% sure.
You might get. Well, they didn't have that when they launched. And cutscenes, you could like watch.
You can skip them.
I did it before when they have all the cutscenes, and I used to watch just the cutscenes of the game. Now
the menus tab, yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't have that when the game came out, and that was 2 things that were really lack. Oh, and the third thing, I don't know if you can. You used to like when you complete a chapter, you used to get like money, and you can use to buy
points. Yeah, you get on this, so you can.
So can you change
stuff.
her clothes? Because
you can't change your clothes, but you can buy.
See, that's annoying because you could do that in the I mean, in certain cutscenes, you have your old clothes, but from there enough when you're playing all the other games, you can even get Ellie to have like a little Naughty Dog top on.
Oh, alright, I thought you.
Oh, shut up.
Some sick
and Joe, I can have him as different checker shirts and stuff because Joe rocks.
Do you know what Dina said for a laugh? Oh, Ellie wearing the same clothes, but they're wearing the same clothes every day, Daniel. Every day.
But So that was a little thing that they could have done, and I think that was just laziness. Like, okay.
They've put a lot of cool mechanics in this.
Yeah.
Game modifiers, so you can have infinity ammo, one shot, meal durability.
See, that's that bit so cool for the gameplay aspect.
Yeah, so if you wanted to rush and do some crazy kills, you get some real good game modifiers. You got to pay it with points. Same with some textures as well. You can have some like pixel textures and some real cool. I don't know what to call it. Let me pop it up real quick so it'll tell me on here. So you go under extras when you press your. But you only can get these, I think, when you play the first game. So render modes change the appearance. So you could have graphic. It looks like a cartoony type.
Did that in the first one with black and white and like Western.
Nice. They've done loads of different options. You can get pixelated, and you can actually play this
so
all around
okay,
on the game.
I'll let them off for that.
It's really cool.
That's
And you get your game modifiers, your audio.
When you edit this, are you gonna
show this? There's a mirror world as well, and a mirror on the death. So when you get shot.
Yeah.
Killed. Sorry, it changes the. So what is it? So when you've got your character looking at this angle, you change the angle to that way to try and confuse you.
Oh, okay.
To do that as well when you get.
So that's been really cool, but I don't see why they couldn't add the other
horizontal flip is the word. Sorry.
Horizontal. Okay, so that's all really cool.
So they flip it every time you die to try and confuse you and then piss you off.
How long have we been talking? Oh god, 30 minutes. Okay, let's round it up now. It's good to get that off my chest. That was good. Okay, so it's almost been a year now since the game has come out. It's coming up to the year anniversary. Is it? Can you still play the game? Is it still playable for you? A year on, do you still want to go back to the game?
I've played the game 3 times.
Oh wow, I've only done it once.
I've played it 3 times because I enjoy. Story.
No, that's fair.
I enjoyed the story, the mechanics, the cinematic.
Yeah.
The graphics is what's keeping me on it, and the gameplay.
Oh god, yeah.
And the mechanics, and when you can like kill someone, and when the ammo is flying in the air, you can catch it with your gun and start shooting. I just like it when you grab people as well. You talk with them, but it seems like the character's got more emotion with grabbing people. You see it in Elliot's face, how angry she is, like she wants to kill them. There's a lot of good things about the game, but I can go back to it because it's an emotionally driven game and you need to get with it and then deal with the consequences when you watch someone you love get battered to death.
Okay, and for anyone who played the Last of Us one...
Play the first one.
So if you played the first one and you like it, would you recommend people to play the second one, but warn them that...
Yeah, play this. You can play the second one, but you just got to understand people die, and they may die painful deaths.
Yeah.
You just got to get over the fact don't just throw the game off when you see the death happen.
Finish it.
Finish the game and understand. And if you can't understand why, and I do feel for people that don't, just don't play it again. Just throw it in the bin or something.
Well, hopefully when they're on. Sell it.
Sell it.
But hopefully when the online comes...
Cash converters, GameStop, wherever you live.
But hopefully when the online comes out, it will get me playing the game again.
But yeah, if you can get by that and understand why, yeah, it could have been good if they did have Joel in it. I just think... But I understand why they did it.
I just think there's a lot of other motives and the writers were just being lazy and thinking they're really clever. I mean, I think Joe was going to die. If he was going to do 6 games, 7 games, I think in every scenario, like Thanos a little bit, a million different ways this could end, I think Joe was always going to die. He wasn't going to die an old man, okay?
No, he won't.
He's never.
No one reaches the old age enough.
I just think that how long they made us wait for the game and how they did him straight away in, honestly, I just think...
Strike.
I just think that was... I don't know, disrespectful for people that was waiting for this. If they did it after maybe 2-3 years after the first one came out, I don't think you'd be as annoyed. But I think if you make someone wait for 7 years to do your favourite character in the first 2 hours, that's a bit like... I
really didn't think he was going to be playing as Joe when I saw the trailer because they showed Ellie. I really didn't think Joe was going to be a part of it.
But I still don't... But you get what I mean though. If you wait 7-8 years... for something.
I just can't remember my face, how I reacted when I did see Joe get bashed in. I was upset and I was a bit... But then that gave me that aspect, like every else did.
You wanted
that anger and revenge.
Yeah, that was a good too. But they could have saved that for the third or fourth one if they decided to do more. They could have. That would have been a good motivator. But I just think for this one.
But yeah, you should definitely play the second one when you play the first one. You have to, don't you? You have to play it because it makes sense. But if you do have a lot of I
think it's worth
problems with it, then I understand
so for
why.
me, who didn't like the story really, I still think it's worth playing because it's like Star Wars films. You love them or hate them.
The new prequel.
But you can always. But there's so much to talk about Star Wars films, isn't it? Every film is such a talking piece. You can spend hours talking about Episode 1, Episode 2.
Except for the new one.
The original stuff, even the new one. No, but you can still talk about them. This how. But you can still.
What was that? Was that an EMP sort of thing? And all the ships came back alive?
That's a different video. But there's so much you can talk about. That, and I feel like with this game, there's so much to talk about it. So it's kind of. It's good in the sense that it's very controversial and there's tons to mention about it. But at the same time, if this was the first game. I've played this game more than you, about 5 or 6 times. If they had a story like the first one, I would have done it 4 or 5 times already.
So if we skip to the end of the game, would you have preferred if Ellie killed Abby? She did lose 2 fingers in the process as well. Would you have preferred if she did kill Abby? Would you have been justified to yourself murdering her? And that's it?
I suppose kind of, but a lot more clever people will analyse it and say that there was a reason why she didn't kill her and stuff.
If that happened to you, would you be justified after killing Abby?
I just wish it just ended where it was on the farm.
I liked that scene. I was going there. Was it a goat or a sheep?
Yeah, I just wish it just ended like that because then it went on, and it's like people say it was like Return of the King. Yeah, but Return of the King, when that went on a little bit, it was still good. This was just please end right now, just please.
In a way, I didn't want it to because I loved the gameplay so much and the killing and stuff.
But if you liked it, then it's.
I understand games do drag a lot. We've played a lot of games like Days Gone.
Yeah.
That dragged.
But I suppose with a game like this, it's. People will talk.
You love it or you hate it. That's the word now. That's the term.
People will talk about this game for 5, 10 years, 20, 30 years.
Dad!
This is part of gaming history. And people will talk about it for the day we die. Because people can analyse and this is, because this game did so well, I think it helped convince HBO to do a series on it as well. So I'm thankful for that, I suppose.
So what do you think to them sort of people that, because it's getting loads of rewards, this game?
Yeah.
Do you think those awards are wrong? But these awards, do you think it's paid then or what? Because a lot of people keep saying these are being paid for.
Well, to be honest, if you look at what games came out, they want too much.
There weren't that many.
They want too much competition.
Not much competition.
Now, if Horizon, God of War, games like that came out, Hellblade came out that year, Senua's Sacrifice. If a lot more games like that came out,
but I think it would have won game. I think it would have won game mechanics, everything, because the mechanics like that.
I think it would have still won awards. I think if there was better competition, I don't think it would have won, just because there was hardly anything to compete against it. Really, it kind of that's why it did so well. So I don't think it was paid. I think there was just not. There's really,
not a lot out and a lot.
There wasn't any competition to really go. Wait a minute, when Red Dead 2 and God of War came up, people were arguing about which was the better game. Last of Us didn't have that. Last of Us was just Last of Us, and then all the other games were like down here. Where Red Dead, it was like Red Dead, God of War, Red Dead, God of War. Last of Us didn't have that, so you can't really argue. If I was voting, I'd pick Last of Us because okay.
I picked Last of Us because there wasn't a lot.
Ghost of Tsushima, yeah, that was alright. Doom, like that, but Doom and Last of Us, great gameplay.
Like if you're saying Ghost of Tsushima and Doom, Ghost of Tsushima because there's a lot more variety in that game.
But even with those two teaming up against Last of Us still does it. And this is someone who didn't really like it.
Just the whole surroundings, the mechanics, the infected, the emotions, that's what made it hit. But if it had to go against Red Dead and God of War and like you said, Horizon,
I don't think it would have did as well.
I think it wouldn't have won
all.
It wouldn't have won story. I think it wouldn't have won soundtrack. It would have won gameplay and all that.
Probably it would have done that.
All that stuff. But yeah, what would you rate this game?
What out of 10? Okay.
And you got to be honest, guys. You can in the comments. You can rate what you think as well.
Oh, do you think anyone's
if
watching?
If you want to hate on him after it,
is anyone watching after this point? It's 40 minutes.
A lot of people might, because I'm going to show some gameplay in there just to make it look appealing.
Well, you can do all that shit. Okay, this is my honest opinion.
They might have skipped it to the end, just because I'm going to write review at the end.
Well, which
I mean.
Okay. So honest. Alright. So.
Honest.
7 out of 10.
Well, that's quite nice. Actually.
And if the story was there, it would have been 9 or 10. But like I said, I'm not going to bring it all up. But the negatives I have mentioned, that has brought it down. That's how good this game is, and this gameplay alone. That's how good, solid. And the original, 10 out of 10. Now that is a biased opinion, but I honestly do think the story helps some of it. Not so, because the gameplay is a bit old, but I think the story does help that. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for the first one, 7 out of 10 for this one.
I'll give it a 9.5 just for respect of Danny. Just to respect of Danny.
Let's be realistic. So 9 out of 10 for the first one for you.
9 point. Oh, the first one.
Yeah. What would you give that? Out of 10. So let's talk about remaster.
I'll just give it the same as what I said for parts of 9.5.
So 9.5, and the first one, what would you give it? So you said they're
both 9.5.
They're both the same, but obviously.
Oh, but then I can't, because if I'm giving the first one 9.5, but then the graphics on that and gameplay, I'd have to give that one 10 out of 10.
So you give.
Sorry.
So 9.5.
But I wanted to give it 0.5 just to benefit you and justify the people.
9.5. But let's say.
Okay, so if I give the first one 9, the second one 9.5.
Alright, so 10 and 7, 9.5 and 10.
So 9 and 9.5.
You can edit that as well. Get the picture. What you can do, you can get the pictures and either side on me and you and.
But yeah, before we go, we respect everybody's opinion. So
yeah, and
if you hate the game, you hate it. If you love it, you love it.
Yeah, and no disrespect to anyone who worked on the game.
But don't just attack people.
Yeah, don't attack people.
It's pathetic. It's childish.
I mean,
the game's a game.
And I may hate what the writer did on this game.
There's games out there that are so bad that you have to milk money in them.
And I absolutely hate what he did with the story. But you don't send death threats to people. You're allowed to criticise people, but do it respectfully.
Do you think it's kind of childish that you can do that on a screen, type keyboard warrior, but you can't do it in person? Cowards.
People. But anyway, guys, if you even bother to watch all of this, thank you so much.
Well, wouldn't have got Daniel here.
We've been meaning to do it for about a year now, but obviously I've been living in Selby, he's been living in Hull, so yeah. Obviously.
Well, don't say that, might come and kill us now. Might send us death threats.
Oh,
could come in Hull and kill you.
The big places. But no, thank you for watching, guys, and just take care, really.